Ahoy, hoy, friends, and a sarcastic Vulcan salute to you all. Welcome to the Salon. Tonight we are opening an interdimensional portal to not one, but two episodes of Star Trek. I almost said Voyager because I was making a V with my hands. I'm a mess already. Star Trek Lower Decks. Get excited. 2 episodes in the 5th and tragically final season. Fuck Paramount, but also no, keep giving us more, please. Silly decision. Give them another season. Give them all the seasons. We're going to get into it. But before we get into it, a couple of announcements. I wanted to just quickly remind folks fun ways to find us. We are on the interwebs now with our own website at salontrek.com. And of course, you can support us by following us on all of the places: Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, and Blue Sky at Salon Trek. And of course, our Patreon. There's a free community tier. We would love to have you with us to participate in a couple of fun ways that we're going to be announcing over the next couple of months. And if you are so inclined, you can throw in a couple of dollars to help defray costs for us. We certainly appreciate that. That out of the way, thank you for joining us. We've got 2 really fun episodes to talk about tonight, but in order to do that, I, of course, have to have a crew to do it with me, so let's bring them aboard. She's always ready. It's Will. Hello, Will. How are you? Gagged. She's on mute, but she's gagged.
Oh, I'm gagged anyway. I'm good. Doing great.
Speaking of
How are
gagged
you?
and liking it, here's Matt. Matt, how are you?
I'm so happy to be here.
Always a pleasure.
In this 360p that my camera's doing right now. There we
I
go.
don't even know what that means.
Well, it just seemed like it was very low resolution. Anyway, maybe it's
Speaking of low resolution, that's going to be my constant segue.
Oh, God.
The last thing somebody says, it's Ken, and he's living long. Hello, Ken. How are you?
Hello, ladies. How are you?
Mm.
They all are low
Thriving.
resolution, high resolution, thriving, everything. So happy to be here. Who's next? Speaking of
who's next, God damn it, Ken. No, God. It hurts. It hurts. We made the same joke at the same time. It feels wrong.
Just keep in.
Speaking of
vamping.
wrong,
Keep going.
here's Krista. Krista, how are you? I'm so sorry.
You're muted, Diva.
You're muted.
It's funny because
I'm muted and scandalized.
Hi, guys. Speaking of scandalized, let's bring in my co-host, Trevor. Suck it down. Suck that drink down like dick juice.
Mid-drink.
Wow.
Everybody take a big old gulp. Nom, 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 nom.
Hi.
It's a podcast. Everybody loves those sounds.
Oh, yeah.
Hello to my intrepid crew. How's everybody doing?
Welcome to the worst ASMR ever.
Yeah. Doing great. All lower, ready to be lower and decked.
Oh God.
Okay.
Problematic gay alert.
I think that may be Ken's first problematic gay alert.
It might be.
I'll check the spreadsheet.
Do you track
at least
check the logs.
It's his first solo. It's usually accompanied by something that someone else already teased up. So I'm proud.
Usually you do solo first before you have groups.
Yeah. Well, everybody, you heard him. Somebody deck him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whatever that means.
Oh no. I'm going to be washing my hair. No.
Matt Decker. Wonder what happened to him. Anyway,
he's gonna be on Strange New Worlds season 2.
Decker, I barely know her.
He will be Strange New Worlds
God.
season 3, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway.
All right. This is a mess. We're into it
only
already.
had some phasers. Okay.
This is what our Patreon supporters are giving for this mess. The chaos.
This
And
is
the
some
dead air.
urban slang I'm unfamiliar
No,
with.
this should actually say
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
I
everyone-
need to say the
We gotta
wrath
do
of-
that.
mind
Someone
touch.
needs to get me says the wrath of Ken. I need to do that. I gotta figure that out. Okay. So
If
Make it so, Ken.
make it so. Number
make
one.
it Ken.
Make it
Wrath of Ken is obscure 70s television references that I am the only one who gets them.
Yeah,
We are of an age. So
we are of an age.
there it is.
All right,
There.
let's do it.
They're mind touching.
Whoa.
Right in front of us, which seems awkward.
Three,
Okay.
Right in front of my
three,
salad?
three,
All right,
three,
enough of
three,
this.
three.
Enough of this.
I
Alrighty. Needed a palate cleanser.
The
Let's-
Enterprise D being destroyed. Nice palate cleanser.
Yeah, there it is.
Second
Always
best
good to
of
just,
9/11.
it's good to destroy the D when you can.
I'm
Oh.
trying.
What is happening?
Problematic gay alert.
Is the palate
I figured it
cleanser
out.
because I'm a female?
I love how we come back and it's just Krista's crotch pouring wine. Oh God.
Cheers,
Oh,
Krista.
oh
Give us a
my.
cheers. Give us a
my.
cheers.
There you go.
Thank you.
Watch.
From water to wine. Okay.
Okay. Should we
Yeah.
talk about Star Trek?
Yes.
I guess.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Let's get
What's
into
a
it.
star? What's a Star Trek?
Now
Star
that's
Trek. The Lower Decks.
Star Trek.
Let's get into it.
That's Star
Everybody,
Trek.
hush, 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 hush. Enough. Enough. Listen.
Listen.
Listen! You're not listening!
God.
Oh God, we're nuts. We're gonna lose subscribers. Let's set an
Never.
intention.
Is it because I'm a woman?
Hey, that was so
It is
perfect.
not. It is
It
not
is.
because you're a woman.
It's
Man, if that's not a clip on YouTube within 24 hours of us ending
Oh
this
my
stream,
God.
that's
Wow.
it's the reason for everything.
That was it.
It's
because
true.
I'm a woman.
Oh.
Ah. I'm a
The woman.
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
All right, everybody hush.
All right.
Mute yourselves. Trevor,
All
set
right.
an intention. Dear God.
In honor of Krista being a woman, no, in honor of alternate reality craziness, I thought it would be fun if we went around the room and shared how we all would be able to, or how you all would be able to identify your doppelganger from an alternate universe. So how would the rest of the salon in the Prime universe be able to tell that your doppelganger was visiting? And as always, I will start us off by saying that my doppelganger would be identified. He'd just be sober. Like, we'd be the exact same person. He just wouldn't drink. And you'd be like, something's off with that guy. It's not right. It's not right. So yeah, don't feel compelled to make these long and drawn out because mine's short and sweet, but yours can be long and drawn out. It's fine. Speaking of short and
Long
sweet,
and
no,
drawn
I don't know how tall she is. I don't know.
The drag.
Short and I wasn't going up. I was
Everybody
going over.
make it short and sweet. And by everybody, next person up, Krista. Wow.
I'm not going to make this short and sweet because this is a deceptively.
It's because she's a
dangerous
woman.
question, because if you say it's revealing of you, and we will blame women, it's revealing of you. So if I say, well, my person would be stupid, and everybody dead stares me, then I know that everyone thinks I'm stupid already, and there would be no distinction. So I'm going to choose a goatee.
Okay.
I mean, I can't really argue with it. I would definitely know something was up if I saw you with a goatee. So we'll allow it.
Yep.
Well played.
I mean, it could be my crotch, but
I
you
was
didn't say
literally
where-
going. I was going to
you didn't
ask
say where the
where
goatee
the
was.
goatee was going to come from.
I didn't say where the goatee would be.
I don't
Could
even
be
know what
American.
video to play for.
Oh.
Also, how do
All
you
of
make
them?
that into a goatee? Where's the chin versus the?
Look at
I don't think that goatee's around the lips on her face.
Yeah, but then how
Jamal.
far down
You're
do you
so
shave?
correct.
Do you
Push
go
them all.
to the lift?
500 square foot efficiency. I love it.
Problematic gay alert. You thirsty bitch.
We are so canceled.
This is
So-
the whole thing. The whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Ken.
then, like, where's the
It's
chin
because I'm a
versus the...
woman.
Ken, dear.
Well, I would have long, luscious hair all the way down, and and I would be ripped as hell. That's how you could tell. So yeah, it's the mirror universe, right? That's it. Long, luscious hair.
Any alternate
Ripped.
universe, you guys are just
Yeah.
choosing mirror, but it's fine.
Mhm.
It's fine.
There
There
you
are no
go.
rules except the whole candle thing.
And he would
Matt,
talk
dear.
like this. He'd
Are
talk
you
with
on
an accent.
ecstasy?
Okay.
It's like you're just
Matt, Matt.
Uh,
Thank you.
If you've gone, please mute yourself so we can hear the next person.
I don't know if we need to hear the next people. Honestly, I think this is going.
Salon
well
is
already.
over.
Yeah.
Shut up and talk, Matt.
I would obviously the low hanging fruit is that
Yourself.
I would not want to violate, or I would want to violate the temporal prime directive. Hardy har. The other part would be that I was stable.
That would be a giveaway.
I feel like that's a good. I was, at a corporate desk job and happy with it.
Okay.
Next.
Matt,
So you're saying the tech-
sell insurance.
You're saying the Salon Boys text thread would tell us immediately that you were from another universe. Got it. Will, my love.
Well, I guess the first one would be like if my original idea was like I liked headcanon, like in the spirit of this, but in the spirit of this current iteration of the Salon, a small dick.
Push it.
I don't think that's problematic.
Push the damn button.
I don't think that's a problematic gay alert. I think you should be proud of your manhood. Everyone should be.
Thank you.
Well, have we ever been ashamed of the
except
things that we
Krista.
push the button
Krista
for?
should not be proud of her manhood.
Good point.
I don't care.
Gay alert.
I would also just like to argue,
Thank you.
Krista should be proud that her manhood was able to grow a goatee.
Yeah,
According to Joel, it is actually my
I don't like this.
my
The man in the canoe.
man in the boat, which is
Ooh.
fucking savage. It's just savagely perfect. Very well done.
By the way, in case you hadn't noticed, this episode is not for children. Even-
None of them are.
Godless, damn it. In every Merkin, there is a hidden man.
There is a dream. In every Merkin, there is a hope and a dream.
There's a hope and a dream and a small little man in a boat.
Is that your Halloween costume? It's just like a
Yes,
little
I'm walking around
plexiglass front
as
and just a
lion
goatee.
vagina. Yes.
Love it. I love this for you.
I'm pouring it.
That man in the canoe has run aground.
It's a kayak.
I don't
Oh,
know
God.
what's happening.
I don't know either.
But welcome
talk
to the
about
chat,
Star
John.
Wars.
Throw your
Yeah.
vote. Life really.
Let's talk about Star Wars, guys. Let's talk about this Star Wars.
Uh, I don't know where to go from here.
Get us back on track.
There's only
Just
one
answer the
word.
question. Mute everyone and answer the question.
Oh, God,
Honestly.
this is
So
intensive.
what would my other universe doppelganger trait be that gives it away? If I want to toot my own horn, I'd say not funny, because I think I'm very hilarious. I'm mad now because I don't have a fun answer. Everybody said such a fun answer, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna say something stupid. Ugh. Fuck
You'd be
all
a
of you.
So you get
Being
fun
nice.
answers. That would
Being nice to these assholes. That's what would the giveaway
This really cancels your prior claim that you're funny.
Yeah, seriously.
Are you the evil Stan?
He's giving it away right now.
The background's red.
No, it's
No,
the
he's got-
normal
He's
one.
gone. He's back. He's gone. He's back.
Miss Wave, how dare you?
The mustache is slightly less thick. We know this is the real Stan.
God damn it.
Oh.
On my own salon, I'm getting dragged. John is coming in hot for his first time in the chat, and I love it. Welcome. Welcome to all of our chat, folks. Excellent intention setter, as always. Thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome.
I mean, we did our best. Let's talk about these episodes. So we got 2 great episodes to talk about tonight. We're going to start, of course, with the first one. We'll go in order. How about that? Let's get into our top thoughts. I loved this first episode. I thought it was super fun. It was a great play on the duplicate, the alternate reality, the doppelganger. I loved Mariner meeting Becky. All of the characters interacting with themselves, super funny. Talin was probably my favorite. But I'm just so excited that this show is back. I loved the gag that they added to the intro with, I have a screen for this. We got the shadow effect like we did in the 5th season of The Next Generation on the title, and we got some additions to the battle sequence with the Green Hand, the Tholians, and V'ger. Super fun. The show is great. Paramount is dumb for canceling it. Let it go on forever and ever. This first episode was super fun. I also loved the 2 episodes sort of dovetail each other nicely. Like there was an A and a B story, but which was which is, I think, open to interpretation, and they flip. You know, we got Tendy's side hustle happening first this episode and second the next, and lots of fun stuff happening in between. And we lost someone. We lost him. Shorty overboard, but we'll get him back eventually. But yeah, Dos Cerrito was super fun. I also loved, yeah, I'll just end it there. Those are my top thoughts. Will, top thoughts.
I thought this was really good. It was a good season opener. I loved the take on the like alternate universe that they're not evil. Like I like the metaphor there. The color of their uniforms was slightly deeper than the actual Cerritos crew. And then the
What do you mean
little
actual?
twist.
How dare you?
Whatever. Our Cerritos crew. Whatever. Well, they said, oh, I love the joke where they said the Prime Universe. We're the Prime Universe. Like that's really funny.
Yeah.
So I thought some really good jokes. I really enjoyed it. I loved the Orion stuff. I'm like honestly like really enjoying I don't know how much more we're gonna get. Spoiler alert for the next episode, but like the Orion stuff I really enjoyed. And I didn't think, I was hoping it wasn't gonna wear thin, but I think it was the tropes of the character, whatever. Anyway, but thought it was really great opener, really funny. The opening scene is so funny that it looked like they unloaded all of the jokes they had for any other season. Because we got the hand, the Tholians, fucking V'ger is there for some reason. Like that shit. So like they figured there was going to be 7 seasons, so they're like, here's the rest of them. Like that gag is really funny. And then the little TNG season 5 opener title card. But yeah, really, I think it's great. It makes me excited for the season, especially with last season, how I felt like the mystery ship ran a little long and I was getting a little bored of it. I think this almost kind of going back to basics, I think is really great and kind of wrapping up the stuff we had from the last season. Fabulous. Great. And the callback to the animated series, the fact that we watched that before this and the Blue Orions have come back. Funny. Anyway, but no, loved it. Loved it. Trevor, but you're in the wrong spot, darling. There we go. Krista, my dear.
It's Matt's fault.
Fucked it up.
So we're
Fucked it
gonna
up.
do Nina. I love the first episode. The second episode, it wasn't as good as the first one. I loved the 30 under 30 because I fucking hate that shit, and they do it every year. And I just love that they skewered it.
Yes.
I loved
I like that it was 30% of lifespan.
right. Godless, damn it. Made me laugh out loud. Kelevin instead of Kevin. Just the gags all worked. I laughed out loud numerous times, and you just can't replace the amount of swearing. I mean, the blooper swearing and the whole. I love it. It's I hate to say this, but it's kind of South Park for Trekkies, and I enjoy it. I liked I liked all of it, and I agree. I really liked the Orion Syndicate. I really want a Syndicate Game of Thrones. I really want a show that concentrates on all of those families. Never gonna get it, but I want it, and it was fun. It was funny. I'm so fucking glad it's not a kids show. I'm glad it's not a kids show. I'm glad that the jokes are meant for me, and I don't have to feel shame. I'm happy to be back with the show. I'm sorry it's ending. And Tawny still has top billing, so yeah.
Ken, your top thoughts on this first episode?
Tawny has top billing, but Gabriel Ruiz is still listed as a guest star, which I think is a crime. But I think, I loved, just like everyone was saying and what we showed in the still there, I love what they did with the all the villains and putting in Apollo's hand and V'ger and all that. I thought that was really cool. Apollo sort of fondling the Borg cube. It's interesting. So that's cool. And then the episode was great. The throwback to, so many throwbacks to so many things, but to really sort of take that moment from the animated series with the Orions and take it from there. And I think that was really good. The color issue with the blue Orions, and then making like it's Orions. They're just going right to it, and I think that that's fantastic. I love what they're doing with these characters. I loved Tendi sort of dealing with her own stuff and how she gets to open the season. I thought that was fantastic how she opened the season and the way she did it. The whole thing about the doubles and how the doubles were slightly different. And yes, the whole concept of we're the Prime Universe fuckers. So that was fantastic. So I don't think I've said anything that others have already not said or have already said, or I don't know, but I don't think I've said anything original, but there it is. That's my top thoughts.
Well, tough act to follow. I really enjoyed and I don't know that we ever figured out the species of the person with the many nostrils and the fun piercing wraparound thingy. But finding out that the wraparound jewelry was prescription was hilarious. As she's ripping it out of his face. Like, I don't even know what that means. So that was fun. Sorry, had to yell at Rigel. Yeah, that was hilarious. And the episode in general was, I think the only thing that I was slightly sad about is that there isn't going to be any sort of it doesn't seem like there's going to be a season-long arc, because either someone actually like swapping places with their alternate would have been interesting, a fun little thread to like weave into the season. But overall, like it's been said quite a bit, like all the gags worked, all of the piece about Naomi Wildman being mentioned in the 30% of your lifespan thing was like a joke within a joke. because of the rapid aging of the character. I thought that was really funny, that because they're like, she's only 10, but is she? Like, I don't know. Anyway, there's so much to unpack. I think the only thing, and yeah, go ahead and give me the button for it. I don't care. But if Rutherford wants to hug me with his third arm, he can.
Problematic gay alert.
Yes. End of your top thoughts? More like
Just
your
the
bottom
beginning.
thoughts.
Just the beginning of them, my dear, but yes.
All right, good top thoughts all around. Let's dive into it. We've got a couple of fun things happening. I am loving Tendi. You all know I have a dog that I named after that character because of her vibe, her curiosity, and her energy. I was so sad at the end of the 4th season that she was leaving, but I knew it was going to be something great. And the whole team knocked it out of the park. Did not disappoint with Tendi's side hustle, getting back into piracy, and still being herself, not wanting to kill, trying to get her crew to not want to kill. And turns out they don't want to either. Super fun. I loved like gags after gags after gags, but like the jokes in the show were so good. And like, crawl back into the cave you came from. And she's like, I don't want to go back to my childhood cave. Like, it was real. Chef's kiss. So good. What y'all's thoughts on the Orion side hustle?
I'll go. I've always felt the Orions were kind of underdeveloped, but really some of the more stereotypical of the Trek species, where it's like, oh, there's sexy women and slavers, and it's a little, and it's all kind of, they're pirates, but it never felt like there was much going on, to be quite honest. But this is like, I loved this arc, this stuff with Tendi, with the Orions, and like, I don't know. I thought it was really funny and clever, and it just felt like a good outlet for them to write some really dumb jokes, which, like, I love a pun, and I love just like a setup and a punchline, especially with a joke like that, is really funny. And then some of them you're like, what? Like, I don't get it. Like, they fly over your head, but I don't know. It was just great. I thought it was great. I loved this arc for Tendi. I like that they gave her something to do other than be really excited and be kind of sciencey. And but it was cool to see her kind of just like kick ass, but be very upset about having to do it.
Yeah. It's still
everyone
true
being
to
just
herself.
like bloodthirsty, stabby, and she's just like, "Oh, sorry, I'll save you. Sorry, go away." You know.
I
Really,
love my
really
favorite
funny.
joke in this show is her sister's name. Like, it is so fucking funny to me that her sister's name is Erica.
K11 made me laugh so hard. I saw it because
lose it.
it's
I
so
lost
fucking
it.
stupid. K11, and I watch because I have on the subtitles because I'm a boomer, so I have the subtitles on, and I saw the joke come up, and I was like, "What?" And then I heard K11, and I spit out like a chicken tender like on my kitchen on like onto the table. I was like, "This is fucking just." I was like, "This is so stupid." Anyway, brilliant
Well,
joke. Whoever wrote that joke, A+.
Then they were making fun of their own costumes, like their own uniforms, like, because it looked sort of like kind of phoned in Mutant Ninja Turtle costumes. And it was like there. And then in the second episode, when the lady was like, "You didn't even have anything to lose. You like have no wealth. You have nothing." And then you sort of understood why they're so fucked up. The Orion.
The Azure.
Orion.
I love that we watched the animated series recently. For the audience, if you haven't watched that episode of the Salon, please do check it out. But because like we talked about then, like I find myself enjoying the animated series more than I thought I would. Budget was a clear issue, but there were some really interesting stories in there. And the Orions was one where I'm like, I see what you could potentially be going for, but why the fuck are you like, why are you pronouncing it that way? What the fuck is going on? And so I love that they brought that, like, Lower Decks is considered canon. The animated series is not, and so technically speaking, but I love that bits of the animated series now are canon, thanks to Lower Decks. I think that's a really cool addition to the lore, thanks to Mike McMahon and the team. And like, it's another example of them like lovingly poking fun at the franchise, but also paying homage to it in their own way. Which actually I have a visual for this, and I completely forgot.
Yeah.
This species isn't just one thing anymore. And how exciting.
I
They're
do
also
find it
blue.
funny that they reconciled what was a canon issue with a literal joke,
Yes.
which is so funny. It's like, oh, you like, and the reality of Star Trek as a franchise, we couldn't bring these two things together in like a serious way. So the fact that the comedy animated show reconciled a canon issue to some people with a joke is really like God level like writing and in creativity. Like, it's so funny.
But also the green Orions, they all look different. They have different hair. They have different everything, and
Different shades, yeah.
It was like they deliberately. It was almost like they were deliberately thumbing their nose, and that's the fucking thing I can respect. I can respect that. Everybody wants to wind it here. We're going to give you the blue ones, and they're going to look exactly the same to each other, and they're going to be indistinguishable, and they're going to have stupid outfits.
And they say that too, like just literally saying, and our dumb costumes.
They're going to make
Yeah.
fun of our costumes, and they do suck. Lust idols.
Yes.
I love the little lust idols with the little boobs, squatty statue with some boobs.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, Tendi being a badass was super fun. Ken, you came off mute. What were your thoughts on the Orion side of things?
Well, first we want to say that what Will didn't say was that he actually wasn't eating a chicken tender at the time. It just sort of came out. But no. So
No, don't
Wait a
implicate me in any of your devious, perverted behaviors, Kenneth.
no, it's not.
I was
my-
eating a chicken tender with barbecue sauce, and I laughed and I coughed it up. So I don't need you doing nothing. I am a single man. I need people to know.
Ken is
I'm
on a
with
roll
myself.
tonight, I have
Well,
to
first
say.
of all,
You watch your back.
Kelsey-
You're close to me. I'll get you.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come here. Okay, so yes, we actually have to get together over chicken tenders and barbecue sauce sometime. But yeah, so I don't know. What I'm
I love that the
saying.
subtext of that is we got to get together to choke on things together.
That weird considering you tried to like frame me as some deviant. Thank you, Ken.
I didn't try to frame you as a deviant. You would know if I tried to frame you as a deviant. So
What? Get your point across. Let's go.
Wait a minute. I have to know, like,
dungeon you came from.
yeah, I was gonna. Yes, God, Trevor, we're in a Vulcan mind meld right now because I was literally like, wait a minute. Ken is on a fucking tear tonight. Ken, you're a delightful person always, but you are legit hitting your jokes out of the park tonight, and I'm worried that you're a bad place double in a
I
Ken
am.
suit.
right. But if I
Also,
was a
they're
bad place,
overtly sexual.
What parallel dimension are you from?
I don't know.
And what
If
did
I
you do
was
with
the-
our Ken?
Show me the merkin.
the Merkin. So I loved the fact I don't know if it was the first episode or the second episode. I'm getting them all confused, but I love the fact that the Orion women were like didn't want to do it anyway. So I think that's the second episode, right? So, but I also love that it was just so much tearing of so much tearing of Trek tropes and doing things like doubling up doubling up the I'm just stunned by I'm stunned by whereby Will disappears for 1 second and he comes back holding his dog. At least, see, the good thing is that we are not the kind of people that eat the dogs or
That's
eat the
normal.
cats.
Ken,
yeah,
focus. What is happening?
Ken, what are you on?
all
I
right,
give you
so-
one compliment and you take that massive right turn.
Yeah, I know it's terrible.
Focus.
So the
You're
idea
like
of the
Captain double entendre tonight.
I want to apologize, everybody. I never should have given Ken a compliment. That's my bad.
It's true.
My bad.
It is so unusual. So that's how we know that Stan is his double, because he gave me a compliment. No, I'm not big tonight, I promise you. I'm very tired. The switcheroo, that's what I'm trying to say. The switcheroo of the captain and Mariner. I thought that was awesome. I know it has nothing to do with the Ryans, but I thought it was pretty cool. And I love the way that she finally realizes, oh wait, I can just take off the things because I'm the captain now. I thought that was a very cool growth moment for our lead, Miss Newsom, and her character.
Which
Yeah,
is a great segue into what we weren't talking about, but now we
Yeah,
are.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. I'll just be quiet for the
Hey,
rest of the night.
Trevor, did you have some thoughts on Tindy's storyline in this episode before we move on
I
to
would-
what Ann wants to talk about?
I wanted to talk more about chicken tenders.
God damn it.
No,
They're
I'm
good.
fine.
They're Trader Joe's. They're very good. Anyway.
They're
that was
awesome.
different
Trader
chicken tender.
Joe's.
Different chicken tender. Sorry, not one you can get at
Oh.
Trader Joe's. Maybe the
Oh.
alley behind it.
Impossible also makes a lovely
Wow.
chicken nugget. Anyway, listen.
That man
Yeah.
told you his name was Chicken.
Everyone.
2
Focus.
episodes.
I'm gonna get the
Like-
spray bottle.
I mean, no disrespect to Tendi as a character at all, because I enjoy her, but she it feels like in these 2 episodes she became a main character. Like, she's always been there. She always has been. She's always she has shined brightly in the episodes that focused on her, but the ones that didn't do her character service. And I enjoyed the fact that she was highlighted so much in these 2 episodes. That's all I'm saying. I'm done.
All right, everybody hush. Ken wants to talk about the A storyline, so let's talk about it. Dos Cerrito. We got Captain Becky Freeman. We got Remarkable Talin. We got the 2 cats scratching at each other. General thoughts on the duplicates of it all. Who was your favorite duplicate? Let's do that. Let's start with Trevor. Who was your favorite duplicate or doppelganger or whatever?
I mean, for the 3rd arm alone.
Oh yeah.
But if I were to pick another,
Problematic.
Okay.
if I were forced to make another selection, I kind of loved, because it's kind of like in DS9, Mirror Universe Garrick is no different than Prime Garrick. I loved that Ransom was basically just Ransom with different hair,
Yeah,
like slightly different hair.
totally.
But
into
otherwise,
himself.
yeah, the exact same person. I just wish there had been, I don't know, I felt like there was a Ransom handsome joke that never got made that would have been funny. But otherwise, just the bit of the 2 of them being basically the exact same person was fun for me.
Ken, who is your favorite duplicate? And only that question.
I think I liked Mariner and Becky.
Krista.
Well, it's a tie. I liked Freaky Ransom, retired professional volleyball player. And I also liked Freaky Boimler doing his Riker maneuver at the end.
Yeah, a reverse Riker.
I
to
was
take
just like,
command.
oh
Yeah.
my God. It never fails to amuse.
Will, who is your favorite dupe?
Boimler. The Riker, the reverse Riker over the console was so funny, and then his reaction, "Oh, he's so cool," was like, yeah, yeah. Like that was really funny. I loved how he was just like, "Oh, my alternate's so cool," and like that was like, yeah, that was the one that really stuck out to me. I also really liked the how Becky Freeman just wanted to be delightfully insubordinate. What was it? Something insubordinate. It was
Yeah.
whatever. I thought that was really funny too. That she didn't want to even the alternate universe. She didn't want to really be captain. She kind of had to do it. So and didn't really want to. So that I thought that was good. But
Yeah.
and
She's
and the
also
fact
a
that
victim of her
she
circumstance.
had the writing crop from the original captain of the Excelsior, which is such a funny callback. Because that's like such a pompous douche, and like to
Yeah.
have her have it in that really funny esoteric joke. But yeah, really good, really good.
Yeah, my favorite was Lynn because it was the most subtle, which of course makes sense since they're Vulcan. It was like one word difference. Everybody else, there was a little bit of something, like their look was different, but Lynn looked the same except for the slightly darker uniform and said one word different. I also loved that we got a parallel in this first episode with the first episode. I think it was the first episode ever that Beckett gives her mom the sarcastic Vulcan salute. And in this, it's exactly the same. Don't you give me that sarcastic Vulcan salute. She's like, oh, that's how that feels. Delightful.
Yeah.
Really delightful all around. I did think it was kind of wild and I fucking loved it, but like I got Admiral Kane vibes from this Becky Freeman because apparently she beats the shit out of her crew and has scared them into submission. And it was cool to see Beckett being like, I don't hit either my enemy or my friends or my subordinates. Uh, it it got really close to getting way almost too serious for a moment. It was a nice shift that then they cut with a joke really quickly to like hone into the vibe of the show. It was excellent work.
Quick question. Is this the first time? I know we've talked about it and it's not the first time I've heard it, but I feel like it's the first time I saw it on screen. I could be completely wrong. Is this the first time that we actually acknowledge that Mariner is her middle name?
Yes, I noticed that. I'm pretty sure that is true, that it hasn't been explicitly said.
Okay.
Beckett, Mariner, Freeman.
Yeah. Okay. So that was cool.
Is this the first time that a Temerian has been on the bridge? Because it seems like stream of consciousness communication might not be the best.
Kayshawn's been on the bridge. He took over for Shax in the second season for a little bit.
Okay.
When Shax was recombinating or whatever.
Temerians are Joanne's not with us tonight, but she's in the chat, and I know that's her favorite episode.
Terrible.
Like, I don't remember. Sorry. I couldn't remember if they had been there before, or if it was just a kind of a cheap joke.
Ken, you came off mute for a second. What were you going to say? You wanted to talk about this, so talk about it.
I didn't come off mute, but now that you had me come off mute,
you should talk about it, Ken.
I should talk. Oh, I see what you did there.
I'm going to mute both of you.
Yeah. I loved that. I love that you saw the Cerritos sort of competing with each other, the good Cerritos, the bad Cerritos. I really, really enjoyed that. I loved the when they went through the thing at the beginning. It sort of reminded me of the scene in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and when the first officer says, "It's just a light show." I thought that was a funny sort of homage to a little bit about that famous wormhole scene in the motion picture. So that was kind of cool. And I loved how the ship slowly was moving back towards the fissure as Mariner was trying to figure out how to get them to realize that she wasn't really their captain. So that is another Star Trek trope where if the ship has to go really fast through something, it will. But for the sake of the plot, if it takes forever for it to slowly get through that time vortex, it'll take its damn time. So another Star Trek trope that they played with, I thought was cool. That's it. That's all, folks.
And the difference between mom and mother in identifying which was the real and not the freaky. And I I actually kind of appreciated that the alternate universe was referred to as freaky.
Yes.
Because it was freaky. And yep.
Yeah, it was Shax being like, I also learned this fighting the Cardassians. Just so excited for each other. Delightful. Any final thoughts on the first episode before we talk about episode 2? As I turn shades of green. Good timing, lighting.
Yeah, this ship is mostly brig was a great line. Good call, Joel. I thought it was a fantastic season premiere, and it'd be interesting to see what we learn moving forward. What seeds we will have that since I screwed it up. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say.
Can we not get that serious? Let's just move on to episode 2, please.
I wasn't getting serious.
Before we move on, we also have to note the return of mushroom ships or mushroom stations and arrow ships in the background. It's delightful to see them again. And with that,
Wait, stop.
episode 2. Episode 2. I'll kick us off. My top thoughts on episode 2. I absolutely loved the gag of, oh, there's a new world in the Federation. We got to burn all their money. Fucking hilarious. The digs at capitalism were great. The billionaires not wanting to give it up. Chef's kiss. Top notch gag. I fucking loved it. The bit with Tendi and her sister was so lovely. The resolution at the end is like, no, everybody knows, I just haven't told you because then you'd have to stay because she's going to take on your child. It's so delightful. But the way that she played throughout, I loved them like having just like a giggly teenage sleepover kind of vibe as they're like planning their little war. It's like, the show is so good, Paramount. Come on. Like, what are you doing? It was fucking delightful. We got, again, the no more banks, just Zen gardens. We got really awesome badassery. And then this stuff with Talin and Rutherford was particularly delightful. Like, it was so fucking lovely to see her. Like, she fixed that shuttle and like she didn't even put it back to the way it was. She completely fucked it up because it was like she was going out of her way to give them even more to do together. I fucking love Talin. It was delightful. Those are my top thoughts. Will, what are your top thoughts on this second episode?
Loved it. I mean, it was really funny. I think the A plot with Tendi and Erica was good. It was nice to see Tendi kind of lean into her Orionness, and then her sister kind of let her be Starfleet. So that was nice character development for both of them. And I don't know, I thought it was good. It just really smart, funny stuff. And it moved really well, which I think sometimes the show sometimes can oftentimes move really quickly through stuff, and it felt like we got a little bit of time with Tendi that we don't normally get, which was great. And then the B plot with Rutherford and Lynn was really funny, just because I think the end, there was a moment at the end where she has whatever that piece was and she just drops it, and it was such a funny gag where her hands just went, oh, we're done, and then she just walked away. I was like, love it. It was, oh no, what will we do now? And just, yeah. So good character development stuff with really funny jokes and fun action, and them linking their solar sailor up to a comet was like great Star Trek nonsense that wouldn't work. But anyway, great. No, good episode. Good, solid, brilliant, lovely.
Krista, your top thoughts on episode 2?
I didn't like it as much as episode 1, but I will give Lynn credit for giving me the deceive me into socializing line, which for me is a good definition for what social media is in general. It is a deceiving of socializing. So I love that. Mostly I was disappointed when I figured out that Erica is married, because I went full Young and the Restless when she came she came out as pregnant. I was like, oh, you filthy little skank, I love you. I was so proud of her, but nope.
Well, yeah, they barely showed her husband last season in that episode when she got married, so I forgot too. I was like,
I
oh
had
yeah.
forgotten it, and I was like, oh, I'm so delightfully scandalized for her. And I was really much more of a Erica fan in this than a Tendi. I was like, shut the fuck up. Can you just shut up and let your sister do what she does? And so yeah, so that turned out well. But as I said, I think I actually like the sister more than I like Tendi, which is odd because I have gone on record and said that Rutherford and Tendi are my favorite. But now I think the Erica is. She's a little baller, that one, and I like her.
Ken, how about you? What were your top thoughts on episode 2?
So I thought, again, there was a lot of great Star Trek things in this with the solar sail challenge, and as Will said, catching a comet. Very Star Trek craziness. I think that's a good way to put it. I thought that what Lower Decks does really well, especially we've talked about this before, especially in its 22-minute window, is it does amazing with character development and emotions, and we saw a lot of it in this. I mean, we saw the whole thing with Tendi and Dearica. We saw the whole thing with T'Lyn and Rutherford. There's lots of good, strong character bonding moments here, mixed in with a great adventure plot of what we're going to do with this race, and are we going to lose all of our family jewels, so to speak, on both sides. So yeah, so I thought it was good. It was good all around. I think that, and the denouement, when they used the door concept, and how he was fixing that door the whole time, and then they used that door as sort of the moment of drama twice. I thought was very, very cool. And Rutherford is just it's just a great character. He's just so sweet and crazy and wonderful, and yes, he should have just inherited that third arm. That's true.
Trevor, what were your top thoughts on this episode?
Well, now I can't think about anything but the third arm. No. Consistent with what everyone else said, so I won't repeat everyone, but just a couple of things that stood out for me were the door bit killed me. Like, I don't know why. I was giggling more than I should have. And I was sober while watching it, so it wasn't the purple things. It was just funny to me. It hit my funny bone. And then the other thing that actually, there was sort of a deep cut in between Divana and Erica. It's the first time I've ever said those names back to back. Between the two of them, there was a fun little interaction with the Orion, with the wing slug rolls as like the little snack that they were eating. That is a reference to Menage a Troy. Loaxana says she would rather eat Orion wing slug than deal with a toad-faced troll like Damon, whatever the frick his name was.
Deep cuts.
And I remember that because that was one of my runners up for comfort episodes when I had to answer that question on our website bios. So it stood out to me when she said it. I had to rewind just to make sure, and I of course also had the captions on because I'm 1,000 years older than Will. So I too watch it with the closed captioning and went back and watched, and sure enough,
not our fault. It's sound editors. Love y'all, but
it's fine. I'm ancient. It's fine.
Is off.
Listen, no, I'm one of the few well, maybe not few, but I'm resistant to the idea that getting old is a problem. I have friends that haven't had that honor, so I have no problem getting old and being old.
Oh, I don't think it's a problem either, but I believe in blaming those who are worth being blamed, and in this case, I don't think it's aging.
But also I can't hear worth shit, so I turn on the thing. Anyway,
Word.
I loved the callback to that episode, loved it, and loved the joke, and loved the door and the third arm I've mentioned many times, and I'm just going to mention it one more time because I can. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'll just add I loved all, like, it we had an A, a B, and a C, and you know the A and the B, like which was which is anybody's guess, but I especially loved the Talin arc again, like such a great addition to the cast. Like the gag of like, oh, you mean you're just gonna stand here behind my back staring off into space? That is correct. Like so fucking good. And using the door twice was great. I also loved something. It's going to be interesting to see how long this carries through, like if it goes into episode 3 and longer. But the pad that Boimler stole from the other universe, and his new Bointers, super fun. I know Joanne mentioned that in the chat. The Bointers were really fun, and both he and Mariner are having this mentor mentee confusion that's sort of continuing from last season, where he's struggling with it, which is super fun to see it grow with him. Those two guys who end up looking like they died, with the dumb robot, the gags with the rich people not knowing what they were doing and they just strapped guns to their robots.
But I also love that they were like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? Well, why don't we just go off and like go live off the grid, which is what rich
Eat
people
mud.
do."
Yeah.
And eat mud. Like, oh well, let's just go live off the grid, and they just left, which is such a funny like. It's like the circle of capitalism, where it's like, oh, you have all this money, and then now we're gonna go live off the grid. It's like,
but it was also similar to how Tendi and Erica's family reacted to losing all their wealth. They were like, well, maybe it might be nice to not deal with assassinations, and this will save Dad from having just a pillaging job. I would love a pillaging job. Can I please somebody hire me to pillage? I would love a pillaging job.
Yes. New life.
A deep sigh from Stan.
I love my job. I'm just ready for this election to be over. I'm so tired.
Everybody's
No,
ready
we all.
to be over.
Yeah. Everybody vote and make your friends vote. Vote.org to find your polling place, or vote early. Please, dear God, vote early. And then people will
I
stop.
voted early today.
Huzzah.
Today.
I mailed my ballot in. Let's talk about the space race. I like it got to be annoying and like a little too much, Tendi being a mother hen, which was the point, right? But it was super fun. Seeing Erica just be her badass self. I agree with you, Krista. Like she really stepped up in this episode. I love that we got more of her. That actress is super fun, from Modern Family. So it was cool to have her back. And I just loved again the like, girls, that's enough battle planning for tonight. Just like the show does such a good job of weaving in ridiculous scenarios on top of character choices. Like these are two, like they're grown women, but like they're playing like teenagers at a slumber party while battle planning. Like they are the two badasses. I fucking loved it. One of my favorite moment for Tendi in this episode, though, was when she was trying to convince the 4 Orions to help her cutiny, which was also hilarious. Stupid little gag. But when she's just like, and also I'm the goddamn mistress of the winter constellation, and you'll do what I say. Fucking loved it. I was like, yes, Tendi, tell them. Because you could see it click in that moment. She's like, oh yeah, also I'm a fucking badass. Do what I told you to do. Hilarious. Others have thoughts on the space race and Tendy's interesting solution of destroying the treasure.
I enjoyed it. That ending was funny where they were like, no, now you both lose. It's not that you both win now, you both lose.
Yeah.
That was really funny. And
It's
then
very antithetical to Starfleet. Like, oh, she was
Yeah,
doing the
yeah.
Starfleet thing and it was the wrong choice.
right, which we rarely ever see, like in I don't want to say regular in other Star Trek series where it's like, oh, she destroyed it, and now they're like, well, we'll just call it a draw. But it being that they both lost was really funny. And
It's
And
almost
I
like
love-
they did what you should actually do when someone cheats on the Kobayashi Maru, but
yes,
unless
Yeah.
it's a white guy and then you reward him and promote him.
that part.
well, there we
But
go.
I also love that they erased it immediately with like, oh,
yeah,
it's
canceled
such,
it out. Yeah,
such a
but like bringing in
great
the other
gag at the
plot was
end.
really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
bringing
so
the other
good.
plot to solve it is great, and that the wealth disposal. Like,
Yes. Listen, if
stupid.
anybody has any wealth that they need disposed of, I am happy to provide that service. I will share my Venmo at the end of the salon.
I like that the other three girls already knew she was pregnant.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, we already knew. I like that one of the girls was like, yeah, I was born in the middle of a knife fight. I mean,
It's great.
it's so ridiculous. It's perfect. I love it.
I feel like that should be
Well,
the
why are we standing in line? We could just
Yeah,
walk into
yes.
this museum.
I feel like that should be the subtitle of Krista's autobiography. I was born in the middle of a knife fight.
It's true. It's very close to the truth. You have no idea.
she came out with a knife
Oh, their little
out of the womb, sharp object.
Their dragon pet in this, like,
My
we
mom-
barely have enough to feed our whatevers, and then like the screech that it lets out was just so fucking funny to me for some reason.
That was funny.
It's
Yeah.
This show
And then having, yeah.
is
And they did it twice.
stupid, funny.
it's such a weird howl, and like on command.
I like that Erica's husband just stands there being like pheromones.
Yeah, the thought that he is.
Also,
They
how
dragged him. They're like, ew, the blue Orions have a patriarchal society. That was really
Yes.
was in the first episode where they were like, ew,
Yes.
like that was really funny.
They basically said, "Fuck off with your bad outfits
Yeah.
and your patriarchal society."
They also had, I thought, speaking of dragons, they just had this throwaway moment where, I am having a brain fart. I can't remember. The engineer's mom gave him a dragon, and he walks out, he's all burned, and he just has that little fire erupt. And that's just a throwaway scene, but it's like very cartoon animated.
It was
fun.
great.
So it's just a reminder that that we are an animated show sometimes.
I'm taking it as a hint that they're going to do something with Game of Thrones.
Mm.
They're
Yeah,
going
there
to
you
go
go.
in that vein. That's my headcanon.
Could be.
It could be fun if they came back. I keep forgetting that part of Star Trek lore now is that there is a colony of LARPers that became a society. And it's fucking hilarious. And Billups should be their king, but his mom, voiced by his wife, needs him to get laid first. That there are layers upon layers in this show.
Billups, thank you.
And I like these t-shirts, no money, no problems. Like I love that the whole planet is celebrating by like literally burning money, ignoring lines. Banks are Zen gardens. Trevor reminded me earlier that the stock exchange is now a veterinarian clinic, and it smells better than it used to. The show is
that was a great line too. Yeah.
Man, it smells better, oddly enough. The sharing of the comm badge thing, like such a funny gag because it's.
Do you need me to send you one?
Like it works in and of itself, but then it's also just such a funny. If you know Star Trek deeply, it's such a stupid little gag. Like, oh yeah, how good is the microphone on those things? Because if I tap my comm badge and you're across the room, why would you start talking to the ship like they could hear you?
Yeah, but then they doubled down with the pink cheeks. Yeah, he was blushing.
It was so good.
It's perfect. He grabbed her boobs and pulled the comm badge. It's perfect.
Again,
Yeah.
just stunning how much they fit into 22 minutes. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just so amazing.
It feels a lot longer than the Prodigy episodes. Prodigy episodes go zip, zip, zip. These seem a lot longer, even though they're not.
That's a good point.
I'll say we get more plots. We get more plots in Lower Decks than we do in Prodigy, because they really focus it kind of on an A plot a lot of the time. Like there's sometimes a B plot, but it really is kind of like A plot focused, which is good for kids. But I think that's why it feels like it goes by faster, because we're seeing more plot kind of immediately. But this, because we're kind of jumping around, it feels like it's longer. It's an interesting point, because they are the same length, but I would say that Lower Decks feels like an hour. It feels like a 40-minute show, because they cram so much in. Like there's so many jokes and so much like character and writing happening in it that it definitely feels longer.
And yet it doesn't feel rushed. It
Yeah.
feels like they give it the time it needs to let the storylines breathe.
Yeah, even at
same
its
thing with
fast
Prodigy
pace.
too. Yeah. So kudos to them.
Yeah, joke story is so fucking cool. Trevor, you were gonna say something?
I was not.
Oh, would you like to share something?
Remarkable.
No, thank you.
Commenting at this time.
Any other thoughts on the capitalism of it all? Yeah, it's a fun plot bit. Going off grid. Yeah.
It's very Star Trek. It's very like they talk about throughout all the history of Star Trek. Like, well, we don't use money anymore. Like in Star Trek 4, they're still using money. What do we do about that? And then to really point that out in this episode. I mean, it's a recurring thing. A big deal in Star Trek First Contact, the film, as well.
Yeah.
So it was nice for them to really focus on that in this episode. And great callback through the whole franchise.
But it's also interesting that there is the assumption that they're only there for a limited time and then they're going to leave. So it's like, well, what happens after when you're no longer there? Does everybody eat mud? Is this really gonna work out?
No. Well, I do love that this is the quintessential Lower Decks theme, right? Like we were introduced to the show of these are lower deckers that are our main characters on a ship that does second contacts, and this is clearly the second contacts. Like they're a new world in the Federation, and so we got to get rid of their money. So the Cerritos is there to help them get rid of gold and money. It's so dumb and it's so good. Renew it. Give us more. Final thoughts on the pirating business or T'Lyn and Rutherford's budding friendship?
I would love to be in the pirating business.
You've said that a few times tonight, Krista.
I have, and I'm not so drunk as to not repeat it again.
Hey, Krista, do you have a good pirate? Do you have a good pirate voice?
Clear. Huh?
Krista,
You have a good pirate voice? Arr.
No,
Like a
I
pirate.
don't. I'm not. I'm working at Pirates of the Caribbean here, Ken. It's not a Disney show. I'm fucking you. I'm a pirate.
but it's
You're
Krista,
fucking me as a pirate? Wow, that took a weird turn. But okay.
Oh, shiver me
Alright.
timbers!
All right. Woo.
You thirsty bitch.
In the arms of the angel.
I am hardly a thirsty bitch. I'm saying that if you are actually a pirate, you're not. It's not standing in line at a Disney thing with like those little fireflies going, which is amusing. Listen, I've had enough to drink. I'm just saying.
But I figured out your Orion pirate name.
Pirate.
I figured out your Orion pirate name.
DeChrista.
Carista.
Carista or De Krista, yeah.
Carista, yeah.
Carista. There we go.
Carista Floghart.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
That girl is a lollipop head. She has.
No, did not mean that tangent to happen. I'm so sorry. I was just playing off. I did not mean to take us down that road.
I have some curves. Come on.
But
Don't look
Krista.
totally emaciated, right?
But what if it was
Like I
Krista
vacation in
log
Auschwitz.
hard?
I said
Flog
flog
hard.
heart. Flog, like
Flog
flogging, pirate. It was on
Hard.
theme.
Log hard. Hard.
Yeah, but what would
Flog
Krista's
hard.
what would Krista's denomination be? Like, was she like Tendi is the sorcerer, whatever her character name is?
Oh, no. Put
Oh.
respect on her name. She is the mistress of the winter constellation.
Mistress of the Winter. So what would Krista's name be? What would Krista's mistress of the winter constellation be?
Mistress of the go fuck yourself. I'm gonna stomp all over you and take your shit. That is.
That's
my
long.
See, I was gonna say mistress of the Big Easy, but that's fine. Yours won't fit on a business card, but whatever.
It doesn't fit on a bumper sticker. It doesn't fit on a bumper sticker, and I consider that a plus.
Mistress of the summer grape.
Mistress of the man in the boat.
Mistress.
Oh, it's a
sister
callback.
of the man of the boat.
Wow, back to our attention setter. That
Ugh.
rarely
Mistress of
happens.
the man of the boat.
Yeah.
That's good.
Wow.
All right, y'all. We're gonna bring it in for a landing. Trevor,
Wait,
wanna give us
Will,
the tally?
we're bringing it in for a landing. Will, come on, you can do it.
We don't need to do that.
Do it.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
Okay.
She gets an episode off. every
I'm not
once in a
landed nothing.
Ken,
that's-
go ahead
I'm
and
not
use
landed.
go ahead and use that mute button, buddy. Trevor,
All right.
Oh.
Here we go. For the first time, actually, in Salon history, I do have an amended scorecard. Last week, I said there were 12 problematic gay alerts, and then a few seconds later, I triggered another one. So there were 13 problematic gay alerts last week. This concludes your amended scorecard.
a
from
record.
last week. Still a record, yes. This week, there were 6 problematic gay alerts, 3 problematic ally alerts, one of which Krista managed to trigger in the pre-show. So those of you watching didn't get to see it,
Not
but
fair. That's private.
congrats, girl. There was technically a canon alert, but we didn't throw up the banner, but it's okay. There was 1 explosive saucer separation, though there probably should have been more, but that's another story. Stan lost 100 points for winding up Ken. 50,000 bonus points to Joel for boating analogies. 67 bonus points to John Blosser for tooting horn jokes. So saw it, read it, funny. 12 bonus points to Ken for finding his tee spot. 400 bonus points to Jake the Nerd for Bointer banner suggestions. We will take it into consideration. And last but not least, 1 million bonus points to Joanne for noticing my cocktail. Sorry, cocktail. She noticed my cocktail.
Problematic gay alert.
Why did I get
And
no
I'm
points, you
amending-
bald bitch?
I'm amending this week's scorecard. There were 7
Cock was not
7
even
problematic gay alerts. 7.
I got no points, you bald ass bitch.
2 bald ass bitches
That's
alert.
too bad.
And now
Will.
you got
That's
negative points for
sad.
next week. You skinny whore.
Whatever.
What?
Whatever. You can suck my cocktail.
Wow.
I'm mad.
Is that a handmade cocktail?
This is what happens when you have chicken tenders.
You shut your goddamn mouth. You're supposed to be muted.
It's true.
The idea of chickens and cocks. I feel like I need a bath.
And what a great time to end the show to go take a bath. This has been unhinged and delightful. Best part of my week. Always glad to be with these yahoos. Super excited to talk about Star Trek. We will be back, of course, next week talking about the 3rd episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Like us, subscribe to us in all of the places, please. Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Blue Sky, @Salon Trek. Share with your friends. why should this nonsense not burn into their soul as well?
Plus, it's a
And
Halloween edition.
Who decided that? That came out of
It's on
nowhere.
Halloween. It's on Halloween.
Well,
Ken,
now you're mandating a theme. Cool. Thanks,
No,
Ken.
I'm
No
not
pressure.
mandating anything. I'm just saying
No
it's
pressure
on
for the
Halloween.
co-hosts. Whatever. Please join us next week for our Halloween salon.
On Halloween.
It's a thing.
It's on Halloween. Yeah, this is it. On Halloween. And hopefully Matt will get his shit together and be back.
Keep over explaining it, Ken. Nobody got it.
wow. Judgment. So much judgment, Ken.
So much judgment. It's just
So much
bad.
judgment.
All right, y'all. Until our Halloween salon, live long and prosper.
All hands abandon ship. Proceed to the nearest evacuation zone immediately.